How could you expect that she would pay you $1,500 a month?
No, yes, Your Honor, it does seems like $1,500, but she said she makes between $400 to $600 a day.
Working 7 days a week to pay off a debt.
He also told me to work harder.
So now you want us to hold her to paying you according to that original plan that she was going to pay you in September and October? And therefore you claim that since she didn't pay you in September and October, you're ready to sue her now?
No, I can explain that. On the Exhibit 1, what she even said there was no deadline. When there was no deadline, what did the 6 months came? There was no 6 months.
So,
I never said
it's a
6 months. There was
Is there a written agreement?
No, there was no written agreement.
And did you read your own texts and the intimacy of the language? Is that the language of simply a friend or someone who had an ulterior motive about giving this young woman money? I've got nothing further.
I've got a question. Okay, so she offered to give you $200 via Zelle in September. You said, no, I don't want pocket change. She then offered you a larger amount in October and November. What was the larger amount going to be?
At the time, I was going to pay him $1,200. I had gotten $1,200 together.
So you were going to pay him $1,200 in October.
I was.
And how much in November?
I was hoping to hit at least $1,000.
Okay.
But once he refused to give me the Zelle...
No, I'm getting there.
Yeah.
So she's offering you, because you claim in your complaint, once you noticed that she was moving, you texted her and you asked how she was going to handle the payments, and she went ghost. We read the text messages. She told you several times what the plan was. I would like to pay you a larger amount via Zelle. And you said, no, I'm not giving you Zelle info. The only option I have is to take you to court. Don't you think that's excessive? Why didn't you just take it through Zelle?
He kept wanting me to come to his house and pay it in
Why
person.
were you insistent that she give you a cashier's check instead of just sending it via Zelle? It's very easy.
I know you are on
It's just a phone number.
Easy, but the payments was getting small because that wasn't an agreement in the first place. That's why I didn't want
Okay, but at this point, you're not going to get your money in September. You got to like pivot.
That's when I told her you can drop in the mailbox or you can write the cash.
She didn't want to do that. She wanted Zelle. Why were you so against that?
Because I have not felt comfortable at that point. I didn't know the Zelle thing.
You didn't know the Zelle thing?
I knew the Zelle, but I didn't know how that works.
That's not true at all. He's in Zelle. Him and I had the same
Why didn't you just pay him then?
I just wanted some kind of confirmation in some point where he could verify in some text message, this is his Zelle, so I could send it to him.
You could have written a check and have that as proof.
I don't believe he would have cashed it. If I written him a personal check, he would have my personal banking information.
A cashier's check.
No,
thought about that, but I didn't trust the fact that he would actually acknowledge he received a cashier's check. He's not above creating untruthful drama just to make my life hell. He's the same person who filed a lawsuit.
Why would you take money from somebody that you just did not trust?
I wish I never did.
Because you felt uncomfortable before you took the money.
At that point, I didn't know he was the person he was. There's a reason I moved.
All because of him?
Yes, because of his harassment. If you look at the evidence...
How long were you living in that house?
About 6 years.
For 6 years you lived in that house, and it only took a month of his harassment
I renewed my lease in August.
Can I say something, Your Honor? She already had told me her lease was ending in October.
Well, we have proof to the contrary, sir, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. I just want to put a pin in this. At the end of the conversation about Zelle on September 2nd, you say to her, I don't use Zelle. I'm getting married at the end of the month, and I honestly don't feel like stressing out.
Right. Right now I'm in the process of buying the other house. And process of getting married too. So that's what I asked her, so because I'm going to be moving, then I don't know where to find you. All I had the phone number, that's it. So
if I may add, in the messages, he says he's getting married and moving, and that's why he needs me to pay him by the end of October, if you read through the text exchange. He's still there.
All right, I think I have what we need.
All right, thank you very much. We'll excuse both of you. We will deliberate in this matter.
This court is again in session.
Okay, we reached a unanimous verdict. It was pretty clear through the testimony and evidence that this was indeed a loan. Whether it was to be paid back in 2 months versus 6 months, we don't know. But you haven't made any payments towards this loan, so the money is owed. So next time you want to be a friendly neighbor and you want to help a friend out, get it in writing, terms that are really clear, and miscraft your honesty and your efforts in trying to pay this back. We recognize that. And we recognize the kindness, strings attached or not. You did loan her $3,000 in her time of need. So you are owed the full amount, so the verdict is in favor of the plaintiff for $3,000.